Hey all and welcome. This is my YouTube channel for digital painting and sometimes traditional painting, and my name is Daniel Ibanez. Today I'm going to share with you my brand new set of brushes that I made just for Rebelle. This is painting in Rebelle 7, Rebelle 7 Pro actually, newest version. I really love Rebelle and I haven't released these brushes because I keep tweaking them, and I finally got them to a place where I really like them. So in this video you're going to see my new brushes and see me do a demo painting with them. And then I'll also talk a little bit about why I've been away from YouTube for a while. So stick around and hopefully get inspired. Okay, so you can see me here painting with these new brushes already. I wanted to give just a little quick demonstration of the different mark making. What I wanted to create is a lot of variety. I wanted there to be a mix of dry brush and mixing brushes, and I wanted there to be some that really are buttery and some that are a little bit more chunky and some that are a bit more scratchy and so more bristle, So I think with this brush set gives me kind of all that I want, especially when combined with some of the default brushes, especially in the grunge brush set. I like to paint in a much more kind of energetic and loose way. Even when I'm painting in the studio, I kind of have like a plein air approach to oil painting. So when I come to digital, I want that to be just as energetic and vivacious and kind of not like aggressive, but just I'm very much on the front foot when I'm painting. I want it to really happen in a very action-oriented way. So this set of brushes was designed for that. It's designed to look like the kind of oil paintings that I love to make. And if you've seen my work before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So this set of brushes is going to go out on my Patreon. It's going to go out on my, gosh, I think that probably one of the best ways to get it is to take my Domestika class. That class is like, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours worth of video instruction. And you get all my free brushes and you get them for Photoshop and Rebelle and everything. And it's all like, you can find it on sale for like $1. So that's probably the best thing. If you're ever interested in this stuff, you can just click the link below as my Patreon, but also the cheapest way is my Domestika class. So the other thing I wanted to point out is just this idea of painting a portrait with these brushes. I thought would be just a fun way to demonstrate what they can do. And it honestly was a proof to me because, you spend a few hours refining brushes and you come back another day and you refine them some more. And this process happens over many months. And I finally got them to a place that I liked them just the other day. And I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and start painting. And I did. And then I found that I really liked them. And I felt like it was a good, effective, and easy to use set of brushes. So I'm curious to see what you think of them. So let me know. But this painting is just kind of following kind of a traditional approach to portrait painting where I'm blocking in local colors, starting kind of with my darker values and working my way around the color wheel, but focusing more on value than color. In this case, since it's a brush demo and it's just for fun, I'm doing a lot of color picking directly from the image for the initial lay-in. And a couple of other little tips and tricks. You'll notice that the color swatches right below the color wheel and the sliders are directly from this image. It's a really nice touch with Rebelle. You can select a reference image to give you a number of swatches. I think it gives you up to like 32 swatches from any particular image you want to draft from. The other thing I like to do is set my sliders to HSV, so just hue, saturation, and value. I love that because I can pick the value first. I like kind of working up, from the bottom. So kind of pick the value, then pick the intensity or the saturation, and then you pick the hue. It works the other way around as well, but it's just really nice. I think it works kind of more intuitively for my mind. Coming from traditional oil painting, I love traditional oil painting. I love grabbing my reds and my blues. I love mixing all the colors from scratch. I use a very limited palette and I love the color mixing process in oil paints, but I don't really like it in digital. It just doesn't, I spent so many years painting in oils that it just always feels weird the way that you can concoct the colors and create the colors or grab the colors in digital. So I'm always trying to find an analog for that in digital. So this is my best bet. I actually usually like to change the color wheel up at the top into just a big rectangle of color. I don't really like the round circle around the square. I just like to have one big square of colors. So that's just kind of my setup, something that maybe will help. But as you can see here, just painting loose and painting with a big brush, one of the tips that I always use, just in painting in general, is using the biggest brush I can possibly manage. I think it just always feels better, looks better, is more efficient as a way of getting color on the canvas. It's more in the spirit of direct painting when you're just trying to capture as much as you can with as much efficiency as you can. And I also think that the boldness and the kind of I guess in a way, a kind of the aggressive approach of just getting after it is really good for your mark making. I think when we use our really itty bitty brushes, it can steal a lot of the life from the work, but it also makes the work a lot harder because if you introduce like a little, 1/4 inch little brush and you start ticky-tacky going after all of these little tiny bits of information, well, then you have to do that over the whole spectrum of the painting. And that's rough because now you've made your job really, really hard. You have to now go in and paint all the leaves and all the blades of grass and all the um, bumps and speckles on the pears or whatever it is. And to me, you have to think, well, what is it that's really important? Is it that there are 1,000 blades of grass? Is that important? Or is it important to capture the light? And for me, it's always about the light. It's about the composition. It's about the overall design of the piece. It's I never look at sit down in my studio and think, I just want to paint a crap ton of details today. That's never what draws me to a subject. It never is what makes me fascinated about a painting. Certainly, some paintings need a fair amount of detail to work, but I'm telling you, it's never the thing that makes me interested in a painting. It's never the thing when I walk into a gallery, I never want to go look at how many leaves are painted on a tree. And never ever. What I'm interested in is the design, the composition, the message that's communicated by those things, um, the way that the artist has handled the subject, the way that they've painted the light, the way that they've designed the the whole kind of arrangement, what sort of um, things are being suggested by that arrangement. I think that's the interesting part. I also love brushwork, and I think mark making is it's like the artist's signature. I love seeing the kind of bravado of brushstrokes. I love seeing the kind of the loose charisma of the brushstrokes. I feel like it's almost musical. And so those are the things that to me are interesting in painting. And I love the kind of the way that paint layers and wet and dry mix and overlap. And I love the way all that stuff comes together in a painting, both digital and traditional. With tools like Rebelle, you can do so many things like you can in traditional painting. So it's pretty magical stuff. And in a painting like this, I just was having a blast with just all the cool colors. I thought what made me interested in this painting was, excuse me, was the color scheme with the bright saturated reds and the desaturated skin tones and the really dark warm tones of the fabric. I just felt like it was a really nice kind of vibe. This was just, this is not like my own composition. This is not my own photograph. All all credit to the photographer who took the picture. This is just me doing a practice painting to test out some brushes, and I recorded it. So I thought, well, heck, I might as well show you guys and get you interested in the fact that, hey, there's some new tools out there and these brushes work for me, so maybe they'll work for you. Um, but aside from that, I think the fun thing about a painting like this is trying to sort of sculpt the nose, thinking of yourself as like a woodcutter as you're carving away chunks of the tree and just like revealing this nub of the nose or the kind of curve of the cheek or the the bulbous kind of softness of the lips or the all of these different shapes. This is the fun part of painting. Is I think about it almost like sculpture. I think about it as creating this rhythm of all of these volumes, and how you can do that with light and dark value is the mastery of the illusion of painting, right? So like every painting is an illusion, right? There's an illusion of space, and so what kind of space are we creating? What kind of feeling are we creating, what kind of world are we creating within the frame. This is a huge part about why I love all of this. So hopefully you do too, and maybe this resonates with you. If nothing else, maybe it's a little entertaining, get to see some new brushes, get to see how fluent and fluid and I guess like how fast you can create a really pretty painting in Rebelle, and how much it can resemble that kind of liquid and buttery and softness of oil paints, while also retaining the richness and volume and impasto. Uh, the the engineers and designers over at Rebelle have done a great job of making all of these things come together in a way that's very satisfying to use. But for me, that satisfaction comes from finding brushes that really feel like I want them to feel. So that was the goal of this project, and that was the goal of this painting, was to kind of do a little show and tell on that. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and thanks for checking out my channel. I'll be back with more. Thanks again.